After the shocking discovery of Ben Bradley's remains at Boar's Tusk, there's no doubt about how he was killed. But there are still no clues as to who did it and why.
Do you believe he was murdered at Boar's Tusk or murdered somewhere else?
We really don't know for sure.
And Tommy Bowman's story about finding Ben's backpack is a suspicious lead that only goes so far.
Do you feel that maybe he has more information than what he's letting on?
Absolutely, he does.
Police give Bowman a polygraph test. He is not named a suspect in the case, but cops keep a close eye on him.
In all the interviews, his statement has never been consistent.
But his decision to go on national television with his story about how he found the backpack leaves lawmen baffled.
When did you find this backpack that belonged to the man who was murdered?
This was back in June. I was out jet skiing with my best friend Tania and stumbled across it floating in the water from one of the main beaches.
Actually appears on the Greta Van Susteren show.
Correct.
Were you surprised?
Absolutely, at first. Especially the information that Tommy was giving us was not accurate. Tommy implicated other people being with him when he located the backpack, which was not true.
Did you track those people down?
We did. In fact, those people were watching because he had called them and said, hey, I'm going to be on TV. And they were astonished to find out that he had dropped their name like that. And he also indicated that he showed no deception in that polygraph.
Is that accurate?
No, it's not.
So in his polygraph, there is deception.
Correct.
But the case gets blown wide open when this man enters the picture. His name is Eric Kahn. He was sitting in jail 1,100 miles away in St. Louis, Missouri on another charge. During his interview with police there, he starts talking about the details of Ben Bradley's death, details that had never been released before, and that puts Ben's murder case on the front burner at full boil.
He was here in our community within the time frame of Ben's disappearance.
And he's giving you some pretty detailed information.
He implicated himself in Ben Bradley's death.
To this day, police are keeping most of those chilling details to themselves, but they are sure that Kahn is the real deal.
Do you say that he's given you information that's never been shared with the public before?
He has.
And would you say that you learned more about Ben's death through Eric Kahn?
We did, with Eric Kahn's statement and the evidence that we did have, it corroborated his story.
Kahn also reportedly told federal agents in a separate interview that he and two other unnamed males attacked Ben after spending hours partying, and that one man hit him with an axe handle before the second man stabbed him. Kahn is arrested shortly after and charged with first-degree murder in the killing of Ben Bradley. And what's more, his testimony links him to Tommy Bowman, the guy who says he found the backpack while jet skiing on the river.
What was he charged with?
Accessory after the fact of homicide. Absolutely was. Probably one of the best days as a detective that I had, and we're gonna have an end finally for the Bradleys.
But there's more to come. Detectives pull the thread and more persons of interest come spilling out, like these two local men about town, Tracy Warren and Chris Dove.
There's been several people that have come forward and implicated Tracy Warren with the homicide and have put Tracy Warren with Ben Bradley prior to his death. Chris Dove was a roommate of Tracy Warren's, also an acquaintance of Tommy Bowman, and there was a circle of people that were more than likely active in criminal events in that area.
Warren and Dove have not been charged in the murder, but it looks like the law has been dealt a pretty good hand in cracking this case. And then, only days before the trial, Eric Kahn throws a monkey wrench into the case that brings the wheels of justice to a screeching halt. He now says he has an alibi.
The trial is approaching. The Bradleys are set to come here. Everyone's on board. And the case crumbles.
Correct.
What happens?
Eric Kahn had told his defense attorney that he was actually in custody on June 2nd in Los Angeles, California.
That's pretty much the date cops have pinpointed as Ben's disappearance, but Kahn claims there is no way he was even in Wyoming at that time.
Is that accurate?
It is. We went back and looked at the records of the jail and probation and parole in Los Angeles County, and that is correct.
Ken and Mary Bradley are skeptical. Ben's remains were found months after his disappearance. The exact time and date of his murder remains unknown. They believe Con had time to do the murder and be in Los Angeles, give or take a few days.
We don't know if Ben is killed on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, on a Sunday, on a Monday.
Could even be Monday or Tuesday. It could have been held.
Incredibly, the district attorney cancels the court date, and everyone suspected is kicked free and charges are dropped against Eric Kahn and Tommy Bowman. It is a crushing blow to investigators and family that still hurts today.
He says, we're stopping the case, and we're going to look a little bit further into it, and then that was the end of it.
The rug had been pulled out from underneath us. We understand that there's rules we have to play by. We have to do things procedurally correct. But we also understand that everything that we have is on our side, and there will be a conclusion.
Cops say they are building evidence in this case. And all four men, Kahn, Bowman, Warren, and Dove, remain persons of interest in Ben's murder.
Would it be safe to say that you're keeping a close eye on all those involved in this case?
We know where everybody is, yes.
Police say Kahn, Warren, and Dove are currently in custody on separate, unrelated charges. We've reached out to Bowman with no response. But police say the men have plenty of family and friends in the Rock Springs area, and someone might have the answers they need to solve this murder once and for all.
This case is not going to die. If you had something to do with it, your name keeps coming up, and we will be at your door, and we will keep knocking until there is a conclusion.
Next, we go knocking on some doors.
Tracy Warren and Chris Dove, you know them.
I do.
And the one clue Ben left behind that may finally help cops catch his killer.
All I believe he paid close to $2,000 for it. It's one of a kind. No other one like it.
And we take Mary and Ken Bradley back to the spot where their son's body was found for the very first time.
I know he's here right now.